Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. I got lots of shows and tells today as we deliver the radio superbity to the American jury. I begin with my sweatshirt, a UK sweatshirt in honor of my Kentucky Wildcats, who are on their way to winning the national championship beginning today at 1 p.m. as they play LSU in the SEC tournament. Congratulations, all the Bearcat fans out there. Double overtime victory. But I'm going to stand up here and show I'm going to turn around here, Jacob, because I got to keep the microphone in front of me. But check out the back. There's going to be one little quick moment of radio silence. I want to show everybody what's on the back of my UK sweatshirt. That is correct, folks. TC, what did you see?
That looked like a bulldog to me.
Yes, I can tell you the former owner of Pee Wee's Place, who's a sponsor, Pee Wee, got me this UK sweatshirt with the bulldog on the back.
He didn't get it with another player's letters or numbers or name or anything.
No. Now, another show and tell, which we are going to wait for the PG time of our show at 8:05, is what was sent to me inside this envelope that I am showing on the video cast right here, which will go along with our theme song for the day, or a feel-good song for the day, which TC picked out based upon what was contained in this envelope. See little Valentines on the outside of it? We are going to have the feel-good song of the day as chosen by TC at 8:05. If that's not enough to get you to stick around till 8:05, I don't know what is. Other than if you knew that we were going to have naked girls in here, but we're not.
Right. Oh.
Bottom line is, that's what's in this envelope. Also, you know when you know, TC, you're paying somebody too much money?
When I'm paying them, period.
You're paying them too much money for their job when they're eating at places called the Argentine Bean Company.
What?
Yeah. By the way, I'm glad Argentine Bean Company is not a sponsor of the show because my wife and I ate there once. It was not good. She went there to have a coffee with her friend once. Not good. And Chuck Holbrook texted me. He said, "Have you ever eaten at the Argentine Bean Company?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "It sucks." I said, "Chuck, I am paying you too much money if you are taking your girlfriend to the Argentine Bean Company to eat."
Well, he works hard for the money.
That's right, TC. He does work for it. He does deserve it. By the way,
he works hard for the money.
He
so
disagreed disagreed about being overpaid. My trial is over, and ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, I thought it was inappropriate to discuss the trial while it was going on, but now that the trial is over, I can discuss it. It was a police misconduct trial in federal court in Judge Spiegel's courtroom. Judge Spiegel, I don't know his age. I know he's over 90. And, he follows my motto, work till you die. He's a lifetime appointment as a federal judge, but he is continuing to work as a federal judge. But I just got to say this. This case is a reason why we don't take these cases anymore. Now, let me explain this to you. This case involved my client who gets a frantic phone call from her son's girlfriend and that her grandchildren and this girl are stranded at a flash flood in Green Township. And they're scared, and they've called 911 and everything else. In other words, the water's rising, and she's scared. Right. So my client and her husband drive over there real fast, come running down the hill. They confront a police officer from Green Township who grabs her by the arm. One thing leads to the other, and then he gets mad at her. He claims he was going to arrest her. Her son rescues his girlfriend, who was pregnant, 2 grandkids from a porch, an elderly couple next door. The entire time he's doing this cop's just sitting there watching him. This police officer, when his superior shows up, they decide to charge my client, a 50-some-odd-year-old nurse who's never had been arrested. No person shall knowingly do any of the following: hamper the lawful operation of any law enforcement officer, blah, 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 emergency. When I asked the cop, did she hamper any of his operation, he said no. Well, he charges her with this. 3 court appearances later, the cop doesn't show up. The judge dismisses the case. And we sued this cop for basically charging her for this BS charge and putting her through hell.
Yeah.
Now, you say good. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, I turn down every day now case after case after case like this because jurors, I'm an average citizen. I'm kind of like, hey, it's a bunch of baloney. But let me tell you something, folks. When you sit on a jury, you refuse to hold doctors accountable and you refuse to hold cops accountable. I don't get it. I don't understand it. No matter what the facts and circumstances are, I mean, it's got to be like way over the top. I will never understand. And what we decided, we made a decision about, I guess 6 months ago, TC, that we're no longer going to, I mean, when people tell me these stories, see, I get mad. I'm right with them. And those cops know that they can charge you and they don't expect anybody to fight it because they know you're going to hire a lawyer, plead guilty, And this happens every single day all across the tri-state. Cops giving out BS arrests, BS tickets.
I agree.
But you know what? I'm not fighting them anymore because jurors and judges always say this. It's no big deal. It's no big deal that you were charged with a crime. It's no big deal that you had to go down the courthouse 3 or 4 times. It's no big deal that you had to hire a lawyer for a couple $1,000. It's no big deal that you were humiliated. It's no big deal that you've got that on your record now. It's no big deal. No big deal. It's going to be no big deal to the community. It's going to be no big deal to the Bulldog from now on.
Until it happens to that individual. Then it's different.
You are darn right.
But then it's too late.
You're darn right. So listen to this. There was 8 jurors, 1 woman and 7 men. And by the way, most of the jurors had listened to me on the radio before. That was kind of fun. They deliberated 2 hours. 2 hours before returning to defense verdict. Now, obviously, in my opinion, the fact that they deliberated 2 hours meant that there was 1 or more jurors that were obviously on our side. That's the other thing that cracks me up. When jurors get cases in late afternoon, it's kind of interesting. They always decide the case before 6 or 5:30 or 5. It's a miraculous thing. It's a rare bird that they say, well, we'll come back we'll come back tomorrow.
There, huh? It's a motivation. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's always been. I like when juries get cases deliberate in the mornings. But, I fought hard. My client loves me. My client knows I did a good job. This is something that I did. This is funny. I got to share this with you. My closing statement, I was kept it subdued and just kind of did my thing. And this other lawyer, I think it's the first case the guy ever tried. He gets up and he does his thing. I've never seen during the course of a trial a lawyer get chastised so much by a judge throughout the trial. I mean, I felt sorry for the guy. But anyway, he was a newbie. But it doesn't make any difference. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, folks, if you live in a tri-state, and by the way, I have police officer friends, don't come crying to the Bulldog. Don't come crying to the Bulldog about what a police officer did to you, because I'm telling you right now, this community, when they sit as jurors, refuse to hold police officers accountable. They refuse to hold doctors accountable. Doctor takes off the wrong leg. I mean, or let's say a doctor amputates your leg when he's not supposed to amputate your leg. Here's what the jury will do. Well, doctors they got tough jobs. It's incredible.
Well, they're in school for 1,000,000 years. It's supposed to be a tough job.
But anyway,
they're trained for being
a tough
job.
But listen to this. I had fun in my closing argument because I thought I'd go down swinging. This was great stuff, okay? You know what this defense attorney said? The defense attorney said the reason why this police officer did not get into the water was he doesn't have water rescue training. He doesn't have water rescue training, so he had to wait for others to arrive. Guess what? Brandon Mockbee, my client's son, has no water rescue training, ladies and gentlemen, and he was taking the girls, and he was taking the old people, and he was taking the pregnant woman to safety. He didn't have water rescue training, ladies and gentlemen, and I made fun of him. I says, I didn't say the word mock. I said, it is a sad day for the male gender in Green Township that Dave Schwab sat up there, he's a welder, he sat there, didn't help. Cops sat there and didn't help. Everybody watched my client's son rescue everybody from the flash flood, and the cops and all the men standing around just sat around. Incredible. So I just blasted him in my rebuttal. I just unloaded.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to lose this one.
Well,
I mean, I think the jury sat there and said, "Oh, come on, she wasn't hurt. Oh, it's no big deal, Bulldog." Yeah. We come back, Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Make sure you join Laura Ingram this morning, 9 to noon, right here on Real Talk 1160. And now let's get back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. Coming up at 8:05. You're going to find out what kind of fan mail I received yesterday. Mm-hmm. And today is, there's only 42 days left of my 61 day. I'm almost halfway there. I'm a third of the way there.
That's it.
Of my suspension from my Kentucky law license. I tell you right now, Kentucky Bar Council, they're absolutely incredible. I mean, I've got more stories to tell about them. I mean, they are unbelievable. The difference between Ohio and Kentucky, I mean, I tell you right now, until the Kentucky Board of Governors and the Kentucky Supreme Court take some action. I mean, they fired Linda Gosnell, the head of the Bar Council, but they need to fire everybody else working there. Not everybody, all the lawyers working there. It's incredible.
It's amazing about you attorneys, I notice you guys like to wear 3-piece lawsuits.
Not me.
And suspenders.
Not me. Is that supposed to be some kind of suspension humor, TC?
I thought it was.
You know the quote of the quote of the day. If I had to pick 10 political quotes or 10 quotes of all time, this would be the top of my list. My favorite, everybody knows that Al Capone quote's my favorite. Yeah. But this quote would be in the top 10, maybe top 5, and it's from JFK. And a reason why Rick Santorum shouldn't say JFK speech made him puke. This is from JFK, TC. It gives me cold chills to read it. It gives me cold chills to hear it. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men.
Well.
Is that cool?
I like that.
That is cool. And you know what? That's appropriate for me because remember yesterday I said everything's right with my world?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, yesterday, remember I said, well, speed bumps will come. Speed bumps will come. Although we did get some good news, I can announce. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury and residents of St. Bernard. Oh, by the way, Kentucky Bar Council. St. Bernard's in Ohio. St. Bernard's in Ohio. Kentucky Bar Council's accused me of advertising. I'm like, well, I'm not on television. I'm not doing direct mailers. Well, where am I advertising? It's got to drive them nuts that I'm on the radio.
Well, you're taunting them. You're taunting them.
Kentucky Bar Council, I'm on the radio. This is in Ohio. I taunt them because they're mean SOBs. Anyway, the Ohio Attorney General called me yesterday to inform me that the Ohio EPA and the Ohio Attorney General's office is going to get involved in our St. Bernard toxic waste dump case. Uh-oh. I warned them. I warned this jackwagon lawyer. I said, they better resolve this because the Calvary's coming. No. And guess what's funny? It just came right after the appraisal. The appraiser finished the appraisals of my client's properties, 1/3 the value. In other words, all of my clients' homes are 1/3 the value now because of all the methane gas and everything else coming from the waste dump. So guess what, St. Bernard, if you live in St. Bernard? Here comes the cavalry. Dun, 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 dun. I love it. You know what he said? He goes, now, we won't intervene in your case if you're worried about it slowing down. I said, slow down my butt. I want to win. I can care less about slow down. Today in history, Mexican raiders led by Pancho Villa attacked Columbus, New Mexico, killing 18 Americans. And you know what? We could never capture him. Good old Blackjack Pershing. During World War II, U.S. B-29 bombers launched incendiary bomb attacks against Japan, resulting in an estimated 100,000 deaths. Yeez. Hey, 1997, Big was shot, man. Notorious Big, Christopher Wallace. Drive-by shooting. Famous birthdays, Bow Wow is 24 and Bobby Fischer is 68. Did Bobby Fischer die? Bobby Fischer not die? He's 68 if he didn't die. I have a sad thing to report. 6 service personnel are missing and are believed killed in Afghanistan. The 6 soldiers are believed to have been killed after their armored vehicle was caught in an explosion. God bless them. Did you hear this, TC?
What's that?
The Afghan Air Force, is there such a thing? Afghani Air Force using American planes have been using those planes to smuggle heroin.
What?
Yep. I mean, why do we trust these people? Why do we ever do anything in any country in the Middle East, Afghanistan, so forth and so on? I mean, it's incredible.
You know, you're right. That's a good question because it seems like everybody over there, with the exception of Israel, is playing us.
Exactly.
You know,
you hit the nail on the head, TC. They're playing us.
You know, like,
they're all playing us.
All right, yeah, we got your back. Don't worry, we're taking care of things here. And then they're stupid American. You know, that's what they're doing.
You're darn right. And I mean, we just gotta quit already. Jack Wagons of the day. When nobody stands out, you can always just Jack Wagon up Obama. Because you know he did something stupid, and as we cover politics, you will learn that he has.
It's Wall Street. Wall Street.
Oracles of the day. The anonymous photo centers. How could I not? How could I not? And Abdu Husamaddin, who is a Syrian official who's defected, which we will cover in World News. Humor. Here we go. Here's a little bit of humor. A mechanic was removing a cylinder head from the motor of a Harley motorcycle when he spotted a well-known cardiologist in his shop. The cardiologist was there waiting for the service manager to come and take a look at his bike when the mechanic shouted across the garage, "Hey, Doc, want to take a look at this?" The cardiologist, a bit surprised, walked over to where the mechanic was working on the motorcycle. The mechanic straightened up, wiped his hands on a rag, and asked, "So, Doc, look at this engine. I open its heart, take the valves out, remove any damage, and then put them back in. And when I finish, it works just like new. So how come I make $39,675 a year, and you get the really big bucks, $1,695,759, when you and I are basically doing the same work?" The cardiologist paused, smiled, leaned over, then whispered to the mechanic, "Try doing it with the engine running." Good point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why he's a cardiologist and that guy's a mechanic.
Very good point there.
Shakespeare for your day. This is for all of you that might have been getting dumped today by your lover. Parting is such sweet sorrow. That's a famous one. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Until we meet again on the morrow.
That's right. Dog saying of the day, no matter how little money and how few possessions you own, having a dog makes you rich. What a bunch of crap.
I think a dog makes you poor. You got to feed that thing. You got to clean up after it. You get fined if you don't. If it's not doesn't have tags, are you kidding me?
I know.
It eats up everything, chews on all the furniture.
I know. TC, I only got 2 things I wanted to say about pop culture.
All right.
First of all, TMZ is getting weak. I mean, I check TMZ out they are getting. Today they had a thing about a picture of Miley Cyrus with a T-shirt without a bra on because she was looking at a car. I'm like, my God.
That's it? That's all we've got? Come on, TMZ.
I'm going to start going to a different site. TMZ sucks. A predicted movie flop. This John Carter movie that Disney put out.
Yeah.
Previews look bad. The movie posters look bad. The critics say it is bad.
Wow.
So there you go. That's all I got.
For Disney.
That's all I got.
All right.
We come back. We got a few local news, and we're going to talk about some basketball. Should we not? Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On Real Talk 1160. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, this is the Bulldog raising hell. I can't help it. Scotch-Irish blood. Harlan County mama. But you know what? You can raise hell by doing good work, and you can do it honestly, and that's what I do. You know, I crack up people that judge lawyers that represent people that get hurt, beat up by cops, sue doctors or screw up, yada, yada, yada. I want to tell you something, folks. Whatever your profession is, I got to ask you a question. Do you only get paid if you're a success? No. There's only two people in this country that only get paid if they are a success. Like a doctor. That doctor gets paid whether that surgery goes well or not.
Yeah.
Lawyers and realtors. Commission. Oh, right. And all of you sales folks out there that are only on commission, full commission. So I got to throw salespeople in there too. You know what I tell people that judge me? Ha! You know what I tell them. Let's get a report from Smokey, and let's hope it's better than last week, because last week I didn't have any enthusiasm coming from Smokey and Rick from Ace Hardware.
That's bull. What do you mean? I was all happy. That's because I wasn't there, buddy. Here's the deal. We're giving away paint for the next 3 more weekends. We're giving away quarts of Clark and Kensington paint. And there's no catch. You just walk into your Ace Hardware store and say, give me some free paint, and that's what's going to happen.
That is incredible. So if I go to the Ace Hardware in Independence near my home and I say, I want some free paint, I'm going to get some free paint.
You're getting it. Yep, they're going to give it to you.
Well, that's a hell of a good deal.
Yeah, it is. Hey, we saw a video of you with your Bulldog and your Bulldog cleaner stuff.
Yeah, are they showing that at the Ace Hardwares?
Yeah, they were at the Cincinnati Home and Garden Show. Yeah, that you didn't come to. You're just getting back because we didn't get up on stage. I understand you got to do that, but we were hawking your products there.
I am a kind of a vindictive person. Hey, you were hawking my products? Well, that's good. I like it. You know, last year at the Home and Garden, we used our Bulldog cleaner to show how it cleaned up those grills and everything, and it worked. But you know what? The weather's getting warmer. We're now into March. I know you've got all those snow shovels, but what are you guys peddling now besides paint for that do-it-yourselfer at home that wants to do something? What's hot at Ace Hardwares?
Well, everything you need for your fertilizers, your crabgrass, and all that stuff. And right now is the time for everybody, all your listeners, if you're going to fight crabgrass, you got to do it between March 15th and April 15th because it's a pre-emergent that kills the crabgrass. And the key word is pre, so you can't wait till May, June, and wonder, what do I have? Crabgrass. Now's the time to get going and get out in the yard. Once it gets out, it looks like Smokey's hair.
Once you get crabgrass, does penicillin kill it?
No, that's a no.
Oh my gosh! Now, what are you guys going to talk about tomorrow on your big show? Which I understand it's new time slot, which is 10 to 11, correct?
That's true. You guys move us around every once in a while, but we appreciate it. Well, we're at Atlanta, the Atlanta Ace Hardware Convention right now. We're overlooking the city, and we're getting all kinds of new products, going to all the classes, figuring everything out. So big fun. Get into your Ace Hardware. And our show is so unpredictable. It's a lot like yours, and telling people about it would just be rooting for them.
I like that. So Ace Hardware's got a big shebang in Atlanta right now.
Right now, Smokey's room's looking over the street here, and he's got this weightlifting training center, and the girls are across the street, and he's having a hard time waking up.
I heard a rumor that there's some place down in Atlanta called the Underground or something. I mean, I just heard rumors about it. It's kind of a family place for entertainment and stuff.
It's a bad rumor. Yeah, we wouldn't know, and then all that 12-year-old Glenn Levitt we drank last night, I'm a little foggy, so I don't remember that.
Well, guys, you do a great job promoting Ace Hardware, and get back from Atlanta safe. Any parting words for all those shoppers out there in the tri-state that need something from Ace Hardware?
Well, remember, it's time this Sunday to set your clocks ahead, spring forward, fall back. And that's a good time to change your batteries out in your carbon monoxide detectors, your fire detectors. That way, it's a colorless, odorless gas that can give you a dirt nap, and that's not good for business. We like repeat customers.
All right. God bless you guys.
See you, man.
Smokey and Rick from Ace Hardware. I had forgotten about that. We're going to lose an hour's sleep.
That's right.
But it's
That is
okay.
right.
You know, it's already lighter when I drive over here before
noticed
7
that.
a.m.
Yeah.
Did you notice it?
Yeah.
It's lighter already. Now it'll be real light.
And they make a good point, too, to change the batteries in your smoke detector and in the carbon monoxide
We do that.
detector. Yeah.
In our house, we have carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, and radon detectors.
Yeah, there you go.
And we also have dogs that, if you're thinking about robbing me, I got mean dogs, Trace particularly. Whiskey, he ain't gonna hurt you. She won't hurt you. But Trace will bite your leg off. An alarm system and guns.
And if that doesn't work, he'll throw a bra at you.
Triple protection. Yeah, my wife's bra. I'll throw it at you at the last effort. Music Hall is going to be sold for $1. Did you hear about that? But
yeah, what's going on with that? What's
but
the
then the
deal?
people that buy it for $1 got to spend $165 million to renovate it.
Okay, now let's see. Now.
Yay.
Now, okay, let's take bets on how long that project's going to last. What scandals will come out, and can we sell green water at the site?
Oh, I know about that, but I'm sure the streetcar will go by it.
Yeah.
The streetcar.
Did you hear about the streetcar?
Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, did you hear yesterday TC reporting that your city is going to spend $100,000 to see how they should spend money?
I came up. They want 5 to 7 concepts or results or whatever. I've got 2 of them right now. 1, no streetcar. 2, fix the roads. Fix the roads.
Fix the roads. It's bad news, man.
We
There's
haven't had
potholes.
any. Yeah.
Is there anything that puts lightning through your veins? Is when you're driving along and you hit a pothole so bad you feel like your axle broke.
Oh, I know. And why? We haven't had any snow, so there's been no salt.
It's a great point.
So where
They've saved the money. You're right. Use the money you didn't use on salt to fix those roads.
Oh, it's like a war zone everywhere you go.
Let's do some sports, TC.
All right.
College basketball, Bearcats beat Georgetown 72-70 in double overtime. They now get to play the second-ranked team in the country, Syracuse, 7 p.m. tonight. I'm going to watch that game. UK plays LSU at 1 p.m. in the SEC. Xavier plays Dayton at 9 p.m. The Buckeyes play Purdue at 9 p.m. Yesterday, the Reds beat Milwaukee 8-6, and today they're going to have their first split squad. College basketball attendance. USA Today did a story today. It's falling all across the country. That is interesting. Sunday night's going to be the selection time. CBS at 6 p.m. We will find out where my UK's bracketed. Auburn, Verez Ward, the point guard, has been suspended since February 25th. The FBI is investigating point shaving. Let me see why Manning may choose Miami. Reggie Wayne's there. I forgot about that. His former receiver.
Oh.
Reggie Wayne's in Miami. And by the way, Manning's health, as surgeons say, the fusion in his neck makes it stronger than ever before, and he's good to go. And then finally in sports, there's a lead story in the sports section, USA Today, about UK, Calipari, and one and done. All this is going to do is to help him land players even more.
Really? They think he's going to be out that quickly, huh?
Listen to this.
There's no way.
The closing of the article. Calipari wants a title, but if he and the Cats got one more and none of his players was drafted a couple months later, he'd be disappointed. Now just think, if you are a recruit, TC, or you're a recruit's parent, and everybody's going to read the USA Today this weekend because of the college basketball. Just think if you've got a great high school basketball player and you read this about John Calipari. This is Calipari's words. Now, you can hate me, tell them to fire me, but I won't change that. Fans, all they care about is winning in the program. I have 13 young people whose parents say, this is my baby. This is my son. Please help him. It's not to get them to the pros. It's that they reach their dreams. That's good stuff, man. If you are a parent of a top prep player and you read that about Calipari, are you more likely or less likely to say you're going to UK?
He got you. Yeah, he got you.
And you know what? How smooth is that? Not to get them to the pros, it's to reach their dreams. But he said something after the game that my wife and I went to down at Vanderbilt, the last the last weekend home game. He said something at the post-game show, which I thought was great. He goes, everybody talks about this one and done, like, we do this on purpose. He goes, let me tell you something. He says, if they develop and they're good enough, I think it's great that they go to the NBA. He goes, look at Terrence Jones. He needed another year, didn't he? Look at Wiltshire. Wiltshire will play pro ball,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be. He goes, every player has their own time frame.
Right.
I don't judge that.
Right.
I love Calipari, man. Go Cats! When we return, we're going to have some fun. And remember, at 8:05, I'm going to share my fan mail on Real Talk 1160.
Remember, if you can't find a radio, you can use the TuneIn Radio app free on your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android to hear Real Talk 1160, whether you're in Finneytown, Fairfield, or Afghanistan. Really, you can. Real Talk 1160, and now back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. We got a green water contribution from the Godfather, Bob from Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
He always comes through for us. Green water, soon to come out with our second drink, Black Water, brewed from the waters of the Mississippi River and endorsed by the Doobie Brothers. Warning, Black Water may give you munchies and visual problems.
I like that. That's pretty good.
It's
very good.
Green water, it's like, I guess Snapple started out with an apple drink and it expanded. You never know, green water could have black water, blue water, green water. Every color of the Crayola box.
We could. That's right. But it would have to have a green hue to it,
I can't. I've been railing against regulation and laws. And Cicero had that great quote where he said, "Every time a law is enacted, liberty is taken." You know what, ladies and gentlemen, of the American jury? I'm a lawyer, and I tell lawyer jokes, and that I'm a very different kind of lawyer, and I bash a lot of lawyers. But let me tell you something, folks. If you want fewer lawyers, have fewer laws. All these law firms across the country are opening up offices in Washington, D.C. because of all the additional regulation. Companies and firms need more lawyers to deal with it. Now, how could that be a good thing? How could that be a good thing that we need more lawyers because we have more laws? That's not a good thing, folks. Not a good thing at all. And I just don't get the American people are sheep. They're sheep. They just, actually, they're even worse than sheep. They're apathetic. Apathetic. I don't get it. And a few legal items. Helly Barber's Mississippi pardons were upheld by the Mississippi Supreme Court. Most of the people that he pardoned had served their sentences. And, some of them, were the murderers. I found out yesterday that a lot of these guys were on his staff. They were assigned to his staff. So I'm sure he kind of grew fond of them. And he probably decided, hey, these guys are repentant and therefore the pardon. I am going to go ahead and say it. I don't mind if some of you disagree with me. I'm one of these people that feel like if you serve your time for your crime, you should not be penalized for that crime anymore. So if you're a felon and you serve 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you ought to get your rights back. It makes no sense that you serve your punishment, but you still get punished. That doesn't make sense to me. Your thoughts, TC?
No, I agree with you.
The city of Atlanta has been ordered to pay $320,000 to 3 local firefighters in a class action lawsuit over alleged rampant cheating. The suit claimed 2 assistant fire chiefs provided answers to a handful of firefighters. Not good.
They had to cheat on the firefighters test?
Pretty bad. One world news item. The Syria, this is big news. That's why I'm mentioning it. Syria's deputy oil minister appeared on camera and announced he's defecting from Assad's regime. That is brave. He expected the forces to burn my home and persecute his family. Abdu Husamaddin, a 58-year-old father of 4, became the highest-ranking official to join the opposition. He also points the finger, folks, at China and Russia providing arms to Assad and blocking UN resolutions. How messed up is it, folks? Our biggest creditor is in bed with Russia, Syria, Iran, so forth and so on. TC, it ain't right. It ain't right.
You're right.
This Sunday, a big anniversary. It's been a year since the tsunami hit Japan. God love them.
Yeah, that was such a chain reaction of disaster over there. I can't imagine. Even still, they're still in such deep recovery. I mean, I don't know compared to Hurricane Katrina, but that was a massive.
I admire the hell out of the Japanese people. You see the video footage in the aftermath, like right after that, and they were scared, but They do what they're supposed to do. They keep on going. They're resilient. I mean, they're hardy. I don't. They're our friends too. I mean, I know we fought a world war with them about 60 years ago,
right.
But that's in the past.
That ship is sailed.
And just remember this, folks. Who'd we fight the war with? Their dumb political leadership that were stupid and attacked Pearl Harbor.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? People forget that.
There was been a lot of reports lately about the 1-year anniversary, and one thing that they say about the Japanese people is they have issues. They don't complain. I mean, they keep things to themselves. They just, like you said, they work hard and just they deal with it and go on.
Hardy people. You got to admire that. In political news, lots of good stuff here. Barack Obama has got a major problem with the gas prices. 85% of consumers, according to the Gallup, want Obama in Congress to do something about gas prices, and 77% say it's the most important factor in the election. Folks, gas just hit $6 in California. And I was thinking, Obama's trying to act like he's for the little guy. How does the little guy vote for Obama if he's paying $6 for gas? That's not good at all. Not good at all. But, of course, we know Obama wants clean coal. He wants green energy jobs. And I'm not finished bashing him about the 191 fundraisers. I'm going to do it some more today. Sasha and Malia. Does the president have a concern for his girls, Sasha and Malia, that Bill Maher calls women the C word and is a sexual creep? No, because Bill Maher has $1 million for a super PAC. There is nothing that irritates me more than phony self-righteous indignation. It makes me puke. Obama invoked his daughters relative to the Rush comments. Okay? Well, what about Maher? What about Maher, Barack? And by the way, Rush apologized. Bill Maher did not. And furthermore, I don't get this concept that if you're a comedian, you can say whatever you want, and if you're not a comedian, you can't say anything. Well, where's the logic of that? Well, somebody explain to me why that is. Because I can tell you right now, if a comedian was sitting right here, he couldn't say those George Carlin words because the FCC doesn't care if he's a talk show host or a comedian.
Yeah, you kind of blur the lines of what people think is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And I guess for some reason, when you're talking, like you say, if you're a talk show host, then you're a political person. For some reason, people have more, I don't know, they're more emotionally charged about things like that. Whereas they look at a comedian and think, oh, well, he's just entertainment.
Right.
Which I think kind of belittles Bill Maher a little bit more and makes the talk show host look a little bit more like, someone that people are going to I mean, who are you going to listen to? Right. Bill Maher, the comedian, or, and even though we make fun of him, the political pundits? Who are you going to listen to?
Here's a good retort on the Bill Maher issue, too, about the comedian issue.
Yeah.
He's a comedian who just gave $1 million to a super political PAC.
Right. Well, yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm going to have it both ways here.
And that doesn't hurt. True enough.
I tell you right now, I thought Sarah Palin was on Hannity last night, and she was very subdued when answering the questions about her. And, of course, Sarah Palin looked more and more attractive every day. And I thought to myself, I'm being serious. It'd be funny, but I'm being serious. Because Bill Maher is a pasty, Dracula-looking wussy guy, Wouldn't you love to see a cage fight between Sarah Palin and Bill Maher?
I was thinking the same thing.
Sarah Palin would kick his ass.
She probably would.
There's no doubt in my mind she would.
She probably would.
Would that not be great?
Who'd be wearing the lipstick now?
Right. Senate blocks the bid to oil pipeline from Canada. Check this out. Yeah, you wonder why I jacked up Barack Obama. Under pressure from the White House, the Democratic-controlled Senate on Thursday blocked the Republican bid to speed approval of an oil pipeline from Canada to Texas, the XL. 56-42 vote came as the president called Democratic senators to lobby them to oppose it. Even so, 11 Democrats sided with the Republicans to sidestep Obama's rejection, but it failed. Now,
why is he so opposed to this?
Good golly, is that not incredible?
Why?
And look, he's doing this, folks. It's the hypocrisies. He's doing this the same time gas prices are going up. And folks, just like the stock market is very emotional, a lot of things happen emotional, like what's going to happen in Iran, fear.
Yeah.
You don't think I'll guarantee you right now, with all due respect to Bill O'Reilly, if they approved the XL pipeline, gas prices would go down.
Yeah.
The price of oil would go down, the gas price would go down.
And we would have jobs.
When we come back, folks, the feel-good song, and I'm going to tell you about my fan mail from yesterday on Real Talk 1160. This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters, on Real Talk 1160. Yesterday, in my mailbox here at the radio station, and I can show this on the video cam, I received an envelope, and I will describe it to you. It is a regular plain white envelope with Real Talk 1160, the correct address, 635 West 7th Street, Suite 400, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45203. And in the bottom left-hand corner, it is Attention Bulldog, Eric Deters. It is a stamp which is postmarked from Cincinnati. And also on the left-hand side are 3 little smiley hearts. I opened up this mail, and containing inside the envelope, and I got to make sure that I open this in the correct manner because we're not going to let this show up on video, were 2 photographs. 2 photographs, which appear, I thought at first, to be the same woman, but it seems to be 2 different women. And these pictures cannot be shown on our video cast. There's no note, nothing. Just 2 photographs, color photographs too, and they're not Polaroids. Professional photographs. Anyway, these were sent to me without a note. Now, I'm thinking to myself, either I have some special fans out there, or I might just be like, maybe it's a proud boyfriend or a proud husband who just wanted to share photographs. But I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is the hearts outside. There's no phone number. There's no return address. There's no note. But it made me realize the fact that I have now received my first naked photographs in the mail, that I am now officially not only a celebrity, I'm like a rock star. Right, TC?
You are officially now reaching rock star celebrity status.
I haven't received any panties or bras yet thrown at me while I did my comedy show. But I have now received naked pictures of, I can't really tell if it's one woman or 2 women. There are 2 different poses.
Now, you know what this could be. Maybe it's not that you're a rock star, but maybe someone who doesn't want you to run for president is setting you up for 2020.
Well, if I'm not a rock star, I'm an all-star. Just like Smash Mouth says.
Then again, you should just be a rock star. You're probably just a rock star.
You know, I have to admit, if there was one fantasy that I would have as a rock star in front of 100,000 people, that's got to be a freaking thrill.
Thank you, Cincinnati. Good night.
Thank you.
Would you love to play Rupp Arena?
Instead, we're behind this microphone reaching hundreds of thousands of people. They can't see me, but they can still be fans.
That's right.
Anybody who would like to send me fan mail, the address here at the studio is 630.
Wait, always remember what that's going to do. You're bringing that to a Christian building, a Christian broadcasting facility.
Well, I didn't ask for it.
I know, and we shouldn't encourage it now, should we?
All right, don't send me any naked pictures anymore.
Send us suggestions on what we should do with our tax dollar.
Our tax dollars.
Tax dollar. You see the mayor's that he's courting with Congress today.
He's courting with Congress?
The mayor is...
Give us an update on Mayor Mallory.
He's lobbying with congressional lawmakers today to help secure millions of dollars of federal funding for city projects.
Jeez, old Pete.
He's got a 10-point wish list. Now, I don't know what's on the list. I know a couple of things on there. Well, actually, yeah, our crack
Streetcar.
staff found some. Yeah, believe it or not.
Streetcar.
Well, now here's one decent thing: $6 million for I-71 corridor improvements, which is
That's
much
relevant.
needed. Yeah.
Let's face it, it's a federal interstate.
$800,000 for phase 2 of the streetcar project.
Oh, God, jeez, oh, Pete. You know what? He has sucked up so much to Obama. He might get it.
He might.
Although I think the Republicans in the House will stop him.
You know, the thing is, he probably listens to us and says, those guys got $1 billion for that green water stuff. Maybe I can get a street. Well, you know what?
Maybe I can get some, too.
I found out our crack staff got the list of the other 8 items on his top 10 wish list. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, we would.
Well, he wants $14 million to buy Drake Hospital from Hamilton County because he likes the building. $3 billion for bridge replacement. $28 million for Peyton Manning. $500,000 to fund the Free Balloon Friday project. Another $500,000 to paint smiley faces on yellow traffic lights. A couple $100 for pothole repair. $3 million to finance Undercover Super Mayor reality show. And $5 million for the Greenwater Tavern on the Banks.
Yes!
There we go.
We got politics makes strange bedfellows. Mayor, bring us back that Greenwater Tavern money.
That's it.
Good God.
I like Free Balloon Friday.
I like that. Free balloon. I think everybody should have a balloon on Friday.
And the taxpayer should pay for it.
with helium, not air. We want that balloon to be able to float.
We want to talk like Donald Duck.
Speaking of more jackwagon stuff from this president, the Attorney General Eric Holder told Congress on Thursday he's disturbed by what he has read about the New York Police Department's conducting surveillance of mosques and Islamic student organizations in New Jersey. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on, man. The people that blew us up on 9/11 were radical, extreme. What's it going to hurt to just, God. I tell you, you can't make this stuff up. But following up where I left off yesterday on this, if you didn't listen yesterday, your president of the United States went to 191 fundraisers so far this year. From January 1 to March 6, 191. Folks, that is 3 per day. Per day. 7 days a week. That is 3 per day. That has to be at least 6 hours. That has to be at least 6 hours. Now, if you think the president spends time with his family, which he obviously does, and you think about the president sleeps, which I'm sure he gets 9 hours of sleep, this is incredible. And let me tell you why I know it's probably 6 hours. Here's why. 30 minutes to a fundraiser, 30 minutes back. That's an hour. And you figure all these fundraisers, it's fundraisers. So he can't just be in there for 5 minutes. Every time you go to these fundraisers, folks, because I've been to them when George Bush 1 was president, and I was going to all these things, you pay a certain price for that personal photograph, which means if there's 100 people there that gave him $30,000, guess what, folks? Everyone there is getting a photograph with him and his wife and the president. That donor and his wife are going to get that picture with the president, or the wife and her husband with the president. So you're talking about at least 2 hours of fundraiser. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, how do you justify a president with 6 hours a day since he's been president? Then you throw in the fact that he's had nearly 17 days in Hawaii. I don't think he didn't go with all of them. He was there a little later than his wife. This is incredible, folks. This guy is lazy.
Maybe he's speed fundraising, where he's
Speed
got 60
I like
seconds.
That. I like that.
The pipeline thing. I need your money. Just need your money. Need $1 billion. Got to go. Okay, next.
I love that. Speed fundraising. Steve in Crescent Springs, say something witty or wise.
Hey, I want to know if I could buy those pictures off of you or trade a picture of me naked for them. What do you think?
Well, first of all, you can buy them. You can buy them. I think just based upon the picture, I'd say $1 a piece. Now, but here's the thing. I will not trade, Markovich. I do not want to see a nude picture of you.
God love you, Eric. You take care, bud.
See you, man. You think I just offended my fan?
The ones that sent you the pictures?
Yeah.
Well, Buck, come on. That's kind of...
I was just joking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell these. They're going in the scrapbook. They're going to stay in the envelope, but they're going in the scrap. How do I not do it? Let me see. Let me give you an example. If I die tomorrow, how cool would it be that I could say that I got pictures like that once in my life?
If you died tomorrow and your wife found those pictures,
now, I'm going to tell her.
She'd kill you all over.
It's going to be on Facebook, not the pictures, but the fact that I got them.
Yeah, but she'll see the actual.
Let me tell you something, TC. Everything I say and do on a radio or social network ain't a secret from the wife.
Well, let's put it.
We like to think it is, but she's got sources.
Just to be safe, you ought to bury those pictures with the gold.
Nah, I don't want to bury the gold. I guess I could put the pictures in with the gold at the barn.
Yeah, because no one knows where that is, right?
Right. Saturday coming up, we've got an election in Kansas. And then Tuesday, we have them in Alabama. Romney's up 30% to Newt's 25.
Uh-oh.
Santorum's 20 and undecided is 20. And you know who gets the undecideds? He with the most money.
Yep.
We come back, more Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
And make sure you listen for the Huckabee Report coming up at 8:30 this morning here on Real Talk 1160. And now, back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160, 513-579-1160, 513-579-1160. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, the hits just keep on coming, don't they? Keep on coming. You know, context is important. It is really important. I mean, you take, as an attorney, you realize if you take certain pieces of evidence, the context of that evidence is important. As a politician, context is important. For example, how you vote. Like, for example, if you're going to bang up a congressman or a senator for a vote, you got to put that vote sometimes in context. Everybody's actions, you got to put them in context. Barack Obama, I mean, it amazes me. It's beyond amazement to me that there's even a chance that more than 50% of the American people would want to vote for this guy for re-election. It makes no sense to me at all. The only, how should I say this? The only reason is that you have people who are such die-hard liberals, socialists, communists, and or are living off the government. And if you don't think that there's an intentional, we are being destroyed from within. You know what? The fox is in the hen house, folks. Barack Obama being in the White House is the fox in the hen house. We have a socialist in the White House destroying America. We got somebody, I can't believe it. Somebody is calling a problem with Cincy cops. Pam in Crescent Springs, you're on Real Talk 1160. Say something witty or wise.
This is pretty wise. I've got to complain about the Cincinnati Police Department.
Complain away, Pam.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. What do they get paid to do?
Serve and
Really?
protect is what they're told. It's serve and protect. Serve and protect.
Serve and protect. Okay,
By the way,
well,
how you like my client yesterday in that trial? My client is worried about getting her grandkids out of a house in a flash flood. The cop doesn't help save anybody. The cop doesn't help anybody and then cites her for disrupting the emergency.
is that unreal?
It is unreal.
I can't believe it. I'm going to pick up my husband yesterday. I'm over on Central Avenue going to pick him up yesterday. Right there by I guess it's a substation.
Uh-huh.
Now, and this has happened to me several times over there. What do these police do about these jaywalkers, these people who walk right out in front of you? These people go through these school
zones?
Yeah.
I don't know, Pam. I don't know.
It's terrifying.
Have you ever been arrested before?
No, sir, I have not.
Well, this woman that I represented had never been arrested before, and she was so scared when this police officer grabbed her wrist, she peed her pants.
Oh, my God.
And they acted like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal to pee your pants. It's no big deal to be charged with a misdemeanor. It's no big deal to have to pay a lawyer. This is a true story. I represent this one guy, Pam, that was charged by a police officer with passing a school bus while the school bus was loading and unloading kids. It just turned out that the driver of the school bus was married to a police officer in the same department as the police officer who cited this guy, and she was willing to testify that the police officer was not telling the truth, that my client did not do that. So we go to court, the charges get dismissed, he has to pay me, he has to go down there 3 or 4 times, walking out of the courtroom, quote unquote, out of the police officer's mouth. Well, I won. I dragged his ass down here 3 or 4 times.
Amen. I just wish they'd do their jobs. I mean, that it's unsafe. And, like I said, a police officer was sitting right on the other side and watched this pedestrian walk right out in front of me. I had the green light,
Hey, I know. Well, you hang in there, Pam. I got to tell a funny story. Now, you know how I deal with race, TC.
I know how you deal with race.
I deal with it straight up, though. In other words, I'm not politically correct with it. I'm not.
No, not at all.
But this is funny, okay? In my closing rebuttal. All right, now here's my jury. I had 8 people on the jury. 1 black man who was probably, I'd say, 40 years old or late 30s. 1 young woman, and the rest were white guys, all right?
Okay, now the racial makeup of the jury is relevant to the outcome of a trial a lot of times, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I can tell you right now that if I try a case representing a plaintiff, if I had to choose, give me, in Ohio or federal court, give me 8. In Kentucky, give me 12. I'll take black jury every time. Because blacks, it's a fact, as a group, there's studies on this, as a group, are going to have a lot more empathy for somebody who has been mistreated.
Okay.
That's just the reality of it. Okay, because chances are, a black in society, you admit this, you've had moments where you felt like you were mistreated because you were black.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, well, anyway, this is funny. Now, I don't know what these guys' backgrounds are because you don't get to know them about, you don't know whether they like sports or not.
Right.
Part of my rebuttal closing argument, I came up with the analogy in sports with referees that the best call sometimes in sports is the no call. You don't call that pass interference. You don't call that foul,
Okay.
The one guy on the jury that smiled and laughed and got a kick out of it was the black guy.
Okay, he's in sports.
So he obviously likes sports. I could tell I bonded with him right then and there. I could tell he was like, that's a good analogy, Bulldog.
If you'd have said something to get the other 11, though.
Exactly. I was trying, TC. I don't know what the heck they wanted to talk about.
I have a question, though.
By the way, I didn't say that for that juror. It just hit me because I'm looking at him. He started laughing. He got a kick out of that.
Response, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with the situation, I know you can't talk too much about this with the Ohio EPA getting involved.
I can talk.
Is Greenwater going to lose out on a good piece of property for us?
No, because where we're going to be dumping our green water is across the street from this dump.
Oh, okay.
It's on the other side of the interstate.
Oh, at the Mill Creek.
But I want you all to know that I think the best place for green water to dump is St. Bernard, because the village of St. Bernard, their mayor and council, they don't care about toxic waste. Yeah. So, it's important that we choose St. Bernard to dump our green water.
I'd hate to leave Hebron, but, man, that might be a smart business move for us.
I think so. There's no friendlier place for a toxic waste dump than in St. Bernard. By the way, I got to talk about this St. Bernard. It's hilarious. There is a lawyer who works for the city, lives on the same street.
Yeah.
Remarkably, TC, he hasn't sued. Now this is funny. This guy, I've taken his deposition. It's public record. I've taken his deposition. Despite the appraisals that we have that show our properties have lost two-thirds of their value. By the way, even the Hamilton County property tax assessor agrees that these properties have crashed in value.
Oh.
This lawyer who works for the city of St. Bernard, who lives on the street, in his deposition, with a straight face said, I don't think my property's gone down in value any more than any other property in St. Bernard.
Oh, what an answer.
Yeah, and then he also said, "Oh, I like living on this street. I'm not worried about anything." Even though the Ohio EPA says the methane gas levels are so bad, they're worried about an explosion. This guy who works for the city of St. Bernard. Now you see where bias and prejudice comes in trials. He goes, "Oh, I'm not worried about my health."
Let's just wait and see how long it is before he puts that house up on the market.
Nobody go down to Bank Avenue in St. Bernard and light a match. They even have a sign up where they're like releasing methane gas. They got a sign up that says volatile, do not light. And
Wow,
it's incredible.
what does it smell like over there?
You know what? Oh, this is even better. I mean, this is sad. Guess what they did with this toxic waste dump?
What's that?
And it's called VOC, volatile organic chemicals, and methane gas. There's more than just methane gas. They made a soccer field for the kiddies to play.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got all the St. Bernard kids playing soccer on the toxic waste dump.
It's a good thing the EPA called you.
Yeah, we come back, more Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. Hate myself for loving you. 513-579-1160 if you want to say something witty or wise. Just got an email that those photographs were Nancy Pelosi and Barbara Boxer. I don't know if that's true or not. Remember, you can email me at eric@ericdeters.com, and you can also text me at 859-250-2527, 859-250-2527. You've got something to contribute to the show. And, it kind of cracks me up that the Kentucky Bar Council accused me of advertising when, in fact, I've announced every day on this radio station that my Kentucky suspension I'm counting the days, is at 41. Jacob, do you think anybody in the tri-state doesn't know that my Kentucky law license has been suspended for 41 days? I do not think so. I don't think so either. But I'm still going in Ohio and Florida. Florida. I've been planning my retirement, TC. Right after I took the Florida bar exam, I'm planning my retirement at South Beach. I'm going to be a Florida South Beach lawyer.
All right.
Representing movie stars and celebrities who their plastic surgeon screws up their breast augmentation surgeries.
While secretly being the President of the United States.
That would be awesome to be secretly the President of the United States.
Undercover President.
Remember, you can text Bulldog to 42828, 42828, and automatically become part of Bulldog Nation. I have had an explosion in my Master List newsletter. My newsletter now goes out to 18,000 people. 18,000 people. We have over 25,000 Facebook friends scattered throughout all the sites. We have 50,000 radio fans a week that listen to us.
Thank you.
We want to thank everybody. And listen, if you want to be a sponsor, an advertiser on this show, you can email me, text me, or somebody at the radio station. You get a lot of bang for your buck here. You compare the rates of what you're paying with what you get. It's really good. We quadrupled the ratings when I started here in June. That was a combination of me, that's what the station manager said, and billboards. We did some billboard advertising, and I think the combination of the billboard advertising and the Bulldog Nation coming over here, so it's a great bang for the buck. And I'm so excited about the future here at the radio station. I'm moving in next door by April 1st. My law office operations in Cincinnati, my Independence, Kentucky office will remain. But April 1st, my Cincinnati law office, and I'm going to have an office myself here. And we got 4,000 square feet, 10 feet down the hall from here. And what I think is going to be exciting about it is Channel 19's here. I can't imagine them not wanting to use me a little bit more for some legal analysis.
They should.
Yeah.
You're just down the holler.
Just down the holler. And then as far as the radio show, like we did with the election night coverage, which was really neat to do, you got to stay relevant. And I'm still mad at myself that I didn't think, of course I was sleeping during the tornado, that I didn't think about coming in here after the tornado to do tornado coverage. So we're going to be more nimble. The station owner, John Yinger, supports it. Program director, Rob Williams, who did a great job with the promos for election night coverage. But like, for example, if something happens during the day, there's like an airplane crash, God forbid, or something big, we're planning on disrupting regular scheduled coverage, and I can come in here. And, of course, not to brag, but I got versatility. Whatever the news item is, we can handle it, whether it's a sports-related item, it's a political item. So we're going to be more nimble in disrupting coverage. So I'm excited about it. And let me tell you something. I mean, I'm being serious. I love the freedom that we have here. I love the freedom that I have here. I don't have all these rules and I'm not a big rules and regulation guy.
No, not at all.
The only rule that they gave me, which what did I do? I violated it, was don't eat in the studio. Well, I'm following that rule now.
But, the important thing as well is if something, heaven forbid, a major disaster or some new breaking news story happens, we can get a local angle right, in a matter of just, he's down the hall, grab him. So
exactly.
That's,
And then, I went on Saturday night on the Rusty Humphrey show. Not Saturday night, Tuesday night, election night, 10:45. They wanted somebody from Ohio, and when I got done, the producer said, "Man, that was great. That was great. We really needed something from Ohio." And it was neat because I kind of summed up Ohio, and I got to tell Rusty Humphrey's national show that I had called a source that said that they were very confident Romney was going to win. And I said, Rusty, I called it for Romney at 9:36 p.m. when he was trailing by 12,000 votes. So that made us look good. And he promoted Real Talk 1160, of course, because he's on it. He promoted the radio station really well. And I'm sure he thought, hey, that Bulldog guy, he was on the ball. He says, we'll use him again.
I see. Now we got in good there. That was a good. You made some points there with the network. So
correct.
That's
correct.
Good now.
Going old radio syndication. That's what I want. I want the world to hear us. You and me, TC. Are you ready for prime time, TC?
I am ready for prime time. Not ready for prime time radio players.
I think you are too. You know what's so funny about radio is that you're all alone. All those people are out there listening. All of you are listening. You're out there listening to us, but we don't see you. It's kind of fun medium. I love the freestyle banter of talk radio.
Yes.
Where we talk to the listener. We talk to you one-on-one. That's what that other guy who told me that I'm not allowed to mention said. Always say you. He would be critical of other people, he says. They would say, you guys. He says, no, it's you. You're talking one-on-one to every radio listener.
Yeah. Because I think the listener, and I know when I'm in the car, you feel more comfortable or you enjoy listening more if you feel like the person just riding shotgun with you.
There you go. The United States has wasted a lot of money on product development and these guaranteed energy loans. In the USA Today, and the source is, I don't know what source, R&D Magazine. This is interesting. Corporate America's research and development. Microsoft in 2010 spent almost $9 billion in R&D, Intel 7, IBM 6, Cisco 5.5, Google 3, Oracle 4, Hewlett-Packard 3, Qualcomm 2, Apple 2, EMC 2. And I'm thinking to myself, all these billions and billions of dollars, and by the way, they've increased it. If you look at what they've spent in the 2011 and going 2012, they've increased it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that's what has to happen. These corporations, they're motivated to make a profit. They're motivated. It's like a pharmaceutical company, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a complete fan of because how we're all addicted, not me, but so many people are addicted to prescription drugs that, it's all, the thing about that, the drug company makes the drug. Their sales reps go into the doctor's offices and talk to the doctors about, hey, we got a great drug. You want to start prescribing it? Gives them samples, and they're off and running. I mean, that's just the drug industry. But regardless of that, it's all a balancing approach. Aren't you glad in the United States of America that we have these drug companies that are doing R&D and developing new drugs that are going to help you and me with whatever ailments we have? Particularly like cancer drugs. Good golly. And since we're getting fatter and fatter, the more heart drugs they can come up with, I guess the better. Let's choose. Should we not choose, folks? Should we not choose the corporate America doing their research and R&D instead of government? The jobs report's been released this morning, and unemployment is still at 8.3. But, of course, remember, we're not counting those people that are not looking for a job anymore. We're not counting them anymore. I got to ask this question going into the break. How much time we got for the break?
Minute and a half.
All right, as we go into this break, I think I might end the show on this. Why isn't America why isn't America willing to look closer at what's going on in the White House on his policies and everything else? I mean, it's incredible. You know, some things I take at face value, others I certainly don't. I mean, do you realize, folks, General Electric owns NBC, MSNBC, and CNBC. General Electric does. Who's his job czar? Who's his economic czar? The CEO of General Electric. I mean, you start thinking about this, you know, like bias and control and who's point. You know, you hate to be paranoid, but it does conjure up the idea of the Wizard of Oz. You know, I don't know if you've, so many times you watch these movies, and I think movies nowadays don't have these hidden messages or these obvious messages. But I got a really good education, and I remember reading the great works of literature, and the idea was, well, what's that all about? You know, the Wizard of Oz, there was a big message about the Wizard of Oz. It wasn't about Dorothy and the witch. I mean, there was a deep message there. Who's the Wizard of Oz in this country? Or is there more than one Wizard of Oz? Been driving all night. We come back, we're going to wrap up this radio superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Remember, coming up at noon today, it's Michael Savage, noon to 3 on Real Talk 1160. And now, back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. The drum beat and guitar riff in the middle of Shoot the Thrill is classic. Boom, 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 boom. AC/DC. I think the women that were posing for those photographs that they sent me were listening to AC/DC. By the way, I will share this with you. One was holding a cigarette. Thought that was interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, as we close out today's show, and I want you to stick around and listen to Laura Ingram's Radio Addiction, followed by the Savage Nation, followed by Dennis Miller, followed by the other guys. Great radio programming right here. I want to just talk a little bit about basketball. The college tournaments began yesterday, and they're going to continue today all the way through selection night Sunday at 6 p.m. CBS. And these, of course, are the conference tournaments that are being played out all across the country to decide who is going to make it to the NCAA Big Tournament, where they will be seated, and, of course, basically leads to where they're going to end up geographically and whether they got a better chance or not to win. The University of Kentucky Wildcats will no doubt, if they win this tournament, which I predict that they will, even if they lose in the finals, they're probably going to get a number 1 seed overall. Now, last time they did that, they were given probably the third or fourth best team in the country, West Virginia, to play. That was when Wall and Cousins were there. And they lost in the 8, the grade 8, or however you want to call it. They just had a bad shooting night. But that's not why I want to bring up the NCAA tournament. I want to bring up the NCAA tournament as a metaphor for life for you and me. You know, in this politically correct age where everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a ribbon, you know, everybody is entitled to be taken care of no matter what. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, more competitive, more real than one and done. And you know what? If it was 2 and out, like those softball tournaments, if it was 2 and out, it wouldn't have the same drama, would it? The NCAA basketball tournament, without any question, is the greatest sporting event in America every year. It covers an entire month. It doesn't cover just a day like the Super Bowl, which is the single biggest sporting event as a day. But the NCAA tournament really begins with the conference tournaments. It's March Madness because it is madness. And if you win, you play again. And if you lose, you're out. And you know what, folks? That's the way life is, isn't it? And if it's not that way, it's the way it should be. Now, another thing that I'd like to point out relative to this tournament as a metaphor is fairness. You expect it to be fair because these teams are playing on neutral courts. You expect the referees to be fair. And don't you expect both teams to show good sportsmanship as they struggle to win the game? Absolutely. And when something is done that's unfair, that costs a team a victory, a bad call, a bad no call, so forth and so on, it really is tragic. I always crack up for the people that go to these sporting events and they get mad at the parents, the fans, and the coaches for getting upset. You know what, folks? Sometimes they deserve to be upset. If your program misses out on a Final Four, a Final Eight, a Sweet 16 appearance, and all that comes with it because some jackwagon referee or some jackwagon mistake, by golly, you deserve to be mad. So as the big old tournament gets started, let's hope the referees do a good job. Let's hope both teams do a good job. Play hard. But I'm telling you right now, folks, the drama of one and done, and only one team survives the gauntlet, the athletic gauntlet, which is the NCAA tournament. And you know another thing about the NCAA tournament, which is remarkable? Everybody gets involved. You've got those pools at the office. You got people who don't know anything about basketball, filling out brackets, putting in their buck, pulling a name out of the hat, rooting. You go to any bar. By the way, that's another thing. Nothing fills up the sports bars more than the NCAA tournament. This is a boom to the economy across America. Whether it's Cincinnati or whether it's L.A. or New York or Boston, people are filling sports bars to cheer for their fans. All across northern Kentucky this weekend, bars are going to be packed with UK fans wearing their blue. There's going to be bars packed in Cincinnati, rooting for the Buckeyes, rooting for Xavier, rooting for the Bearcats. It is an incredible, incredible event that everybody gets to share on. And guess what? Isn't it awesome, too, which is also a metaphor of life, an example of life, is all of the Cinderella teams. There's always one, maybe two. Butler's had a monopoly on it 2 straight years. Can Butler do it again? Can Butler once again go as far as they have to the Final Four? But isn't that the way life is? See, despite all the power in the world, despite all those rich people and powerful people that you think are beating you down, which probably they are beating you down, there's always somebody with guts and determination and effort and skill survives it. And guess what? If you're not rooting for the front runner, see, I'm going to be rooting for the front runner because I'm a UK fan. But you know what, folks? Just like you, if your front-running team loses, you start rooting for the underdog. And if your team is not the front runner, you're rooting for the underdog. I find that amazing. I watched last week, again, for about the 20th time, the movie Seabiscuit. Oh, my God. You know what? The movie Seabiscuit, in my opinion, is one of the greatest movies of all time. The narration that took place, setting the context of Seabiscuit with the Depression and the stock market crash and how down America was. And here's this underdog horse that liked to sleep, liked to eat, was too small, turns out to be a winner after being years as a loser. In a match race, beating the Triple Crown winner, War Admiral, Seabiscuit. There's going to be a Seabiscuit that comes out of this NCAA tournament. And another great, great movie from that time period. How about that movie about the boxer that was broke, Braddock. He was broke. He didn't have any money. The Cinderella story. That is an incredible story. A guy, he was too old to box, and he became the heavyweight champion of the world. That's what America's all about. America is all about thriving and thriving. And you know what does it? You know what makes it great? is that you're allowed to do it, that you need to do it, that you must do it. We have, you knew it was coming, didn't you? We have a president of the United States whose political philosophy flies in the complete face of Seabiscuit. You know what? He would want Seabiscuit to have a head start. He would want Braddock to fight people with one arm tied behind his back. This president would want the little schools to be able to play 6 players at a time instead of 5 to make it even when they play UK. That's not the way life is, folks. What we have to do is I want you to do this. I want you to think about Seabiscuit and Braddock, and I want you to think about the Cinderella schools in the NCAA tournament. America is all about liberty. I say this, what's the first thing when you think about America? You think about freedom. Freedom, liberty, and opportunity. Not gifts, not automatic, not, hey, you can sit on your fat ass and not do anything, and we're going to take care of you. It's about opportunity. It's about the fight. It's about the drive. By the way, folks, you don't think I get knocked down? Yesterday, I got knocked down. I took a body blow. Not the trial. Just fighting with Kentucky Bar Council. I take body blows. And you know what I could do? I could quit or I could fight. Good luck to your team this weekend. Remember, every dog has their day. I hope your team has their day unless you play Kentucky.
Tomorrow's day is Carmen's day. That's my niece. Happy birthday, Carmen. She's going to be 9. I love you. Stop hitting my head.
You'll be an oracle on Real Talk 1160.